students, I want to do just a really quick demonstration of how to shade these overlapping tubes. It seems to be a point where people either just kind of understand it intuitively or maybe need a little bit more step-by-step. So this is for the step-by-step people, and I tend to be one of those too. So you got to look. If you have a natural looking overlap, then you don't have any extra work to do here. But if you created your overlaps by literally drawing the lines crossing each other, then you do need to go back and erase one set of those, either one, not all of them. So for this little overlap, I want to make it look like it is over. So I want to erase the lines here. And I think that will make a lot of sense to you after you experiment and start doing it. The bigger thing I think a lot of people need a little extra help with is the shading. So when we're shading, we have to understand in our mind that one tube is over the top of the other one. Of course, not in reality since it's just lines on paper, but we want to have that optical illusion that one tube is on top of the other, and we have to do that with shading. So what you're going to be doing is choosing the point of intersection where they overlap, and then you're going to be shading the one that is underneath. Okay, so underneath here is where you want to add a little shading, and it might be helpful to do this first, like just kind of dark right next to the overlap. So you can see that I just kind of darkened and it almost looks like a stripe. Now we're going to go back and fix that later. So I could darken that. And then on this one, I want this one to be on top. So I erase the lines here. And then I can go ahead and shade here. Now for this, you can use any combination of shading techniques that you like. If you wanted to do scumbling there, you could. You can do back and forth stroke, which is what I'm doing right now. Could do hatching or cross hatching, but that's probably a little tedious for something like this. Okay, and then we'll do all of them kind of like this, but more importantly, you don't want to leave it just like that because that doesn't look very natural. What you want to do now is blend it. So you've got a totally unshaded and totally shaded, and you want to make something kind of in the middle. You want that medium value to be here too. So that's when you're going to take your pencil and maybe just do some really light back and forth strokes on each one to kind of give it more of a sense of an equal, gradual transition. Okay, and that still looks a little stripy, so I can still see the darkest and the medium, and then it just goes straight to white. So maybe I want to feather that or blend that in just a little bit more. So I could blend that more here, make an easier transition there, and then I'm going to let you use a little bit more of a smudging technique if you want, especially in these since there's so much to do. And then if you want to take your finger and just kind of blend that around, you can on this one. The only problem then is that some of that graphite goes into the background and then you have to go back and erase it. This is why I don't really advise people to use their finger on things like this, but if you really want to, you can. Just understand that you will have to go back and erase where you might have smudged it into the background. So now you have something that looks a little bit more gentle and blended, nice transition between your darkest value and then your lightest, which is white. And then you would continue doing that on as many of these transitions as you have time for.